Hello and welcome back to Inquisitor Martyr. Last time we were finishing up the Void Crusade, and now we're essentially free to do what we want. So we could do Ordos. Yeah, we'll just do Ordos. Those need to get done. God, they really want me to keep doing Ordo Malleus, considering all they do is the Purge missions. Well, that's fine. I can always run Purge missions. We'll go Archaeotech Shards. Void Shards. And yeah, credit bonus. 77% heat resist. That's gonna hurt, so we'll just drop that. Enemy is immune to attacks that deal less than 100 damage. That's fine.
Worlds, 100,000 wars. There is no respite. There is nowhere to hide. Across the galaxy, there is only war.
So in 40K news, since I had last mentioned it, there's been a decent amount of news regarding the Arks of Omen. There's been I think it's a total of 3 new tarot readings is what they are. And the first one is the Shattered World, which people are having mixed understandings of. Some think that the Shattered World is going to be Cadia, and that it's going to be used as the foundation for the Arks. Oh yeah, I replaced the staff. That explains things. But that's one theory people have. But I've heard rumors and leaks that there is a book coming out regarding a chaos invasion of Caliban, the homeworld for the Dark Angels. Which is interesting. Finally, the Dark Angels are actually doing something directly about chaos. And it would be a way to because there's that, and then the book implies that the Rock gets invaded, which is the Dark Angels' fortress, monastery / prison. And if I remember my lore correctly, Lionel Johnson is somewhere in there just meditating. So this would be a great way to bring in another Primarch by having him just be like, oh, my home is invaded. Just start snapping these chaos invaders in half. And then going and kind of coming out and being like, alright, I'm awake, I'm here, let's deal with this. Which is fitting. The next one, next one's actually 2 that came out pretty quickly after each other. One is what is it? I believe it's the God Emperor? Yeah, the God Emperor, but the tarot card is inversed, which is upside down. So the implication is something is going to happen to the Emperor. Whether that be the Golden Throne is shut off, and he somehow gets up and is like, oh, I guess I gotta do stuff. Kind of implying hey, things are changing. Or for somehow the Emperor of Man dies. I can't imagine they're just gonna flat out kill the Emperor, simply because that is such a cataclysmic change, and it completely breaks the setting. Considering all, well, it can break the setting. They can BS it, because the Emperor lights the Astronomicon, which is the psychic lighthouse that all navigators use to find where Terra is, and are able to navigate space via that. The way you get around it is either the Empire then goes, oh crap, we gotta use Tau ion tech, or the Leagues of Votan. And the Leagues are like, hey, yo, we got some dope technology that doesn't require psychers. Since you're our homie, here's the tech. And suddenly ships start getting retrofitted. It would work, but like I said, it's a very abrupt ending to things, and there's also the fact that there's still literary, and I guess not exactly literary, but narrative, trying to think of how to word it, loose ends. Because there is, the Emperor has children. This is something that's been touched on in the lore, but not a ton. But they're also Eternals. They're immortal-ish. They can't die of old age. But there was, I can't remember who, I think it's like a radical group of Inquisitors. There's a sect that essentially is like, hey, if we can round up these guys and convince them that they're going to like join the Emperor in some holy crusade, when actually they're going to sacrifice them because they think their deaths will fuel the Emperor and potentially revive him. I'd like to see that storyline kind of come to an end somehow, because that's wild. Seriously, that is such a insane storyline that to just have it abandoned potentially and be like, yep, it's a thing, but we don't really care. I don't know, it seems peculiar. 40K, Games Workshop with 40K, they don't tend to, like, they leave things open-ended, but usually it's minor things. Like I had mentioned, the one, I think it's the Hadex anomaly, I want to say. The one where it's essentially a ghost ship that's like a time loop of what happened to these people, and they always send out a distress signal. Everybody who goes onto the ship goes missing afterwards because it flies into a warp anomaly. And one of the moons had a mining base where the base was completely disassembled, part by part, and the crew of the mining vessel or mining station were also disassembled part by part and laid out on the moon of the, or I guess on the moon. Completely disassembled in a very orderly fashion. That's pretty wild. That's something where, yes, I understand not going full bore into that storyline, even though I'd really like it. But when it's something as big as like, hey, the Emperor's kids, and this all ties back to the Emperor of Man, that kinda is a little too big to just drop. But the other tarot, before I keep going and forget where I am here, the other tarot is the Demon. And it's implying like the barriers between reality and the warp are thinning, which we already kinda had with the whole oh god, the big rift. I can't think of the word or the title of it. All I can think is Maledicta, and that's not it. But yeah, the Great Rift that has the Dark Empire that can't see the light of the Necronomicon, or not the Necronomicon, the Astronomicon, and then the rest of the Empire that can see it. There's stuff implying like, oh, this is going to be the catalyst to bring Vashdor in. And some people are like, oh, are we going to get Vashdor as the new Chaos God, and he's going to just jump from demigod to god? And I'm like, I don't know. It could be. But at the same time, I feel as though they need to keep Vashdor around a little bit. If they're going to introduce him as a demigod, keep him as a demigod for a bit to kind of hammer home that whole thing of, hey, there's probably other guys like him. Or if they want to just go full bore and ascend him, like I said before, then they need to probably do the same thing with Be'lakor. Get everybody throwing hands, make chaos become truly chaos. Because Be'lakor will fight everyone. I guarantee if he were to ascend to godhood, he'd be like, okay, I'm cool with manipulating mortals, but I gotta throw hands with the dudes who screwed me over way back in the day. And I'm completely fine with that. I would love to see that. Bringing chaos to chaos. But these new Arks of Omen, they're interesting. I am really interested in the implied stuff of an invasion of Caliban in the rock. Because that just... Like I said, I don't like Dark Angels because they're just so focused on their own deal that it feels like they don't care. And to finally give them purpose, and it'd be a great way to bring back the Fallen. Yeah, because it's the Fallen, because the Unforgiven are another title for themselves. But it could bring back the Fallen. It could bring Cypher in again. I'm always happy to see Cypher. And I think it'd be cool. I'd like to see something for the White Scars. Because they kind of forgot the White Scars exist. Everybody seems to have. But they're remembered enough that they get a new, I think it's a Battle Force box for the tabletop. And it's everybody except their HQ unit is mounted. So it looks really stupid having all these guys on bikes and then their HQ unit, they never made a new version. It's a named guy. Can I remember it? No, because he's a White Scar. But they never made a new version of him for a vehicle. So he's just this lone dude on foot while everybody's ripping around on sci-fi Harley Davidsons. And I'm like, come on, man. Give him a ride. Poor dude's having to hoof it into every battle while everybody else is zipping around. It looks goofy. Oh, Signum of Calm. Let's see what's that looking like. Man, I really wish I could get something to replace this Signum, because I need that 90%, or at least an Enraged token on kill. But I'd like a better one. Chance to cause heat on skill hit. And that's the problem too. Even though it's, you know, we'll run it. We'll put this in the back. We'll do something stupid. We're going to run both of these for the time being, just so we can get them unlocked and see what's in them. You know, we're going to just completely cripple the build for a minute, just so we can get all these, hopefully, mostly unlocked, to see what they are. Because I might be able to just mulch all these and be done with them. Short of that, yeah, I'm not seeing much worthwhile, which is fine. I keep saying I can't be mad about not getting good loot every run. Be kind of stupid to be like, oh, why can't I get only good stuff? Nah, that's to be expected. Still 37 off from the next rank. What sucks too is this is all going to be meaningless when the new season drops, because this is only for my non-seasonal characters. But it's whatever, I don't care too much. Okay, it's got time limit. Yeah, I'm not even gonna touch the tarot on this. 150% damage suffer. We're just gonna suffer through this fight as is.
Thousand worlds, 100,000 wars. There is no respite. There is nowhere to hide. Across the galaxy, there is only war.
This Arks of Omen stuff, I'm excited for. I think it offers, hopefully, some good story stuff. I kinda wish I'd saw the leak myself. I'm just going off like a secondhand thing of people saying, oh, the leaks say this about an invasion of Caliban, or an invasion of the Rock, because it's for like a overview of a book. Which would be cool. I wish I saw the leak, because I'd want to see if there's more. Not just for that story, but if there's other stories going on. Because we might actually have some other cool stuff coming in down the pipeline. And in that case, it's stuff I'd like to be kind of cognizant of. One, so I can kind of tell you guys if there's anything cool. And two, it lets me kind of predict the story a little. And to a degree, kind of theory craft what's going to happen. That's fun. Especially, like I said, the potential of Lionel Johnson just waking up or getting up while there's a bunch of, like, Black Legion dudes on the Rock, and they just look at him and he just grabs his sword and just hacks a dude in half. Just like, nah. It's gonna be a GTA San Andreas moment when CJ enters Big Smoke's house. You stepped in the wrong house, fool! And then just CSM get cut in half. That'd be pretty great. God, just thinking about that reminded me. I saw the stupidest list. They're like, oh, 10 games that are over 10 years old that are still very popular. And they had CSGO, Minecraft, League of Legends, and GTA 5. And I sat there thinking about it and I realized, yes, GTA 5 has been out for like 10 years. I hate that. That game came out on the 360 and the PS3. The PS2 had like 3 GTA games. Yeah, because it was GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. Played all of them. And then GTA 5 has gone through 3 consoles. Oh god, I hate it so much. I was really expecting games that weren't blatantly obvious in that list, though. My mistake. I realistically should have expected that. But what can you do? Haven't heard anything new about Space Marine. Wasn't expecting it, considering it's the holidays, or now it's just after the holidays. Which, speaking of which, if whoever's watching at this point, I hope you had a good holiday. Whether you celebrated Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, didn't celebrate anything. Hope you had a good one. Hope you had a good New Year's. But yeah, there's nothing for news. Oh, I did see this I had to laugh at. For Darktide, the community manager's like, hey, so this isn't an update, this is an update to an update. Essentially saying, hey, we don't know exactly when the next player update or next game update will be, but don't worry, one's being done. Admittedly, Reddit being Reddit, I don't actively browse it, it's just on my phone there's like the Google app that just throws stories that it thinks are relevant to you. and half the time it's like, hey, here's a Reddit discussion. I'm like, okay. But I look at them because sometimes they're decent. And someone had brought up that thing, that community manager, and there was a lot of good points made. Some people were absolutely clowning it, understandable. But on the other hand, kudos to that community manager. Because they at least sat down and said, hey, I don't have much I can really say at the moment, but I'm still going to let you guys know we have something. It's better than some community managers who are like, yeah, I'm not even going to really interact with the community. I'm not going to tell you if there's an update coming. I'm just kind of here. Those are the worst community managers. The people who clearly don't even care about the job. But I'll respect someone who's keeping the community informed. You know, that's respectable. But people were clowning on all of it, and one person raised a good question, or not really a question, but a statement of, we shouldn't be blaming the devs as much as the management. Which is true. Management decided when the game comes out. Your programmers, even your designers, don't get a say in when stuff comes out. They just make. It is your higher-ups who go, oh, well, we need this out, before Christmas. We need this out before Christmas so that we can get all the sales off that. Even if it means jeopardizing the launch, as we saw with the crafting system, not even having the crafting system done. It's still not done. And it's, every time I see an Reddit thread or people talking about the game, it's always the same thing. Vermintide did it better. And it is true. The loot system, the crafting, it was all done better by Vermintide. And people said it's weird to revert decisions and somehow go backwards. Which I do agree with. That is a very peculiar situation to actually do worse than your last game. I do get it to a degree if you're trying to make gear acquisition more lore friendly, but I think to a degree you have to just accept some lore inaccuracies or not being exactly adherent to lore when it comes to a game. And I've said before, having that continuity is important, and it is, but there are things that aren't going to be complained about. Doing a mission and finding a weapon at the end. People aren't going to be sitting here going, ugh, that's not how it would actually happen. You would have to submit a requisition form. No. Anybody who actually complains like that needs to touch grass. Concessions have to be made for the medium, for games. But you can minimize the concession and also avoid stuff like having hour-long shop timers that are very reminiscent of mobile games. Because why would you make predatory style stuff like that? I don't know, I'm not too big on it. Gotta say, we're doing pretty good even without as many bonuses. A little lower damage, admittedly, but I'm still chewing through, guys, and I mean, this is, what, 150% damage taken? It's looking alright to me.
Imperial reconnaissance forces located. Potentially useful assets, but their current situation is terminal. Immediate action required. Reconnaissance force relieved. Send basic. Follow and protect order to the survivors.
Why is that Uther's Tarot thing there? I just noticed that and I don't like it. And now it's gone. Huh. Let's double back, see if it spawns again. No? Okay. That was just a very strange UI piece? I don't know why that's there. I swear, man, sometimes these UIs are just weird. Which apparently I found out UI design is not a very common thing in games. Like, not a lot of people go into it, which is why it would explain why when looking for some game design jobs, they're always looking for UI people. Which I just don't understand. How is it hard to design a UI? It's pretty simple. If you have abilities, make sure they're visible. If you have health, like a health bar, make sure you can see the health bar. It's not rocket science. Just don't make things really ugly and obtrusive. Don't make your UI take up 80% of your screen. As long as you're not making a game look like the plugins I've seen for World of Warcraft, and you know the ones I'm talking about, the ones where the dudes have every player in their like raid team, their health, every item, they got like 6 hot bars, they got a mini map. It looks like a Fisher-Price kid's keyboard on the screen, and then you have like a 2 square inch window that's actual gameplay, because everything else is all just bogged down with additional UI plugins. That's disgusting. It also tells me, for some reason, your player requires a ton of information. And I would begin to ask, what information do you need and why? Because I can't imagine... Okay, I understand for a healer. If you're playing a healer, you need your team health. Short of that, you don't really need it. And if you have that many abilities that you need to have rows and rows, I think that's a problem unto itself. Okay, yeah, he took a little bit to finally die.
My compliments.
Ready to fight.
Yeah, let's just quick mulch all this. And then quick look and see how our gear is going here. Telekinesis, psychic powers, gross. No, I've had this for a while, yeah. Guess I've never paid attention to that. Let's see. 29% damage bonus for pyromancies. Okay, you already got me. I am interested. Damage against slow, stunned, and shocked enemies. HP on critical hit. Not bad, not great. More critical damage. Acceptable. Some signal of oppression. I think that's gonna be... suppression damage, I want to say. Improve suppression or something like that. Oh wait, there was one more. The eye. Heat vulnerability on heat skill hit, or heat damage, okay. Not the greatest, don't like that warp vulnerability, but might be able to roll that out, we'll see. But that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button, it helps out the channel a lot, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.